This week on What's Your Story, we have Her Excellency Ambassador Danijela Cubrilo Martic. Growing up, she envisioned herself as a doctor and later switched to diplomacy. Serbia, officially the Republic of Serbia, is a sovereign state situated at the crossroads of Central and Southeast Europe. Serbia numbers around 7 million residents. Its capital, Belgrade, ranks among the oldest and largest cities in Southeastern Europe. On What's Your Story? Everyone has a story. Stay tuned. Good evening and welcome to tonight's edition of What's Your Story. I'm gratified you've made the time for us to be inspired, empowered, and elevated together. We're here in the beautiful home of this beautiful lady. She is the Ambassador Extraordinary and Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Serbia, Her Excellency Danijela Cubrilo Martic. Thank you so much for inviting us to your home, ma'am.
Oh, thank you very much for being with me here.
Oh, thank you. And you look lovely.
Oh, thank you so much. You as well.
Oh, thanks. Thank you. So, you came to Kenya this year, 2024, and it's your first posting as ambassador. So, first of all, congratulations.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
It's such a pleasure for me to be first becoming ambassador of my country.
Yes.
It's an enormous honor.
Yes.
And then it's also a great pleasure for me to be posted first time as the ambassador in this beautiful country, Kenya.
Yes. Is it your first time in Africa?
It's more or less my first time in Africa.
Okay.
So like the whole continent is a little bit a new experience for me, but I'm really enjoying my time here.
Yes.
And it's also a learning process for me because my other previous posts were in different parts of the world.
Yes.
So I'm discovering Africa and learning about Africa,
Yes.
about the richness of its culture, about amazing people living here,
Yeah.
both in this country and in this region.
Yeah.
So it's a really amazing experience.
Oh, I love to hear that. I always love to hear about this continent and this country from an outsider's perspective. Because, you know, living here, we take so much for granted. And then you come and you say the people are so warm, the weather is so nice, and you're like, oh, really, is it? Because you're so used to it. Do you find that Kenya and Serbia have any similarities at all?
Oh, you cannot imagine how many similarities I'm discovering.
Tell me.
Oh, so many. You know, like, for example, hospitality is very important both for Serbs and both for Kenyans.
Yes.
Then I see a lot that family is very important here.
Okay.
We are also traditional in certain aspects, like Kenyans are.
Okay.
So, like, later we will see some also things that I can show you up so
Yes.
that you see some similarities. Even
Yes.
I understood when I arrived here that some words in Serbian language are very similar, like words in Swahili.
No.
Yes, absolutely.
Like which one?
So it's very amazing for me. We are so geographically far from each other,
Yeah.
but it's at the same time so many things in common.
Yes.
Like, for example, pineapple, we will say ananas.
Huh? And here is mananasi.
Yes, you see?
So who's been teaching you these things?
No, I like my colleagues who are local staff, they are teaching me the things,
Yeah.
and every day I'm discovering new words. And then when I hear
Yeah.
that they are speaking between themselves in Swahili, I say, oh, I recognize this word. It's the same or very similar in Serbian. So it's amazing.
That's amazing.
So the world is really small place.
It is like it's borderless. You could say it's borderless. But where is Serbia? You know, which country borders Serbia?
Well, Serbia is the eastern part of the Europe.
Okay.
So it's one of the countries of ex-Yugoslavia. So you remember Kenya and Africa, they know very well about ex-Yugoslavia because it was very much present in this continent. And so Serbia is the biggest country coming out from ex-Yugoslavia.
I see.
So it's southeastern part of Europe.
Yes.
So, well, we can show you on the map, you know, where exactly it is situated. So it's surrounded by some countries of the European Union and also surrounded by some ex-Yugoslavian countries as well.
Interesting.
So it's a country of 7.5 million people. It's a country not so big as Kenya when it comes to the space that it covers, but a country that is still very active in this continent.
I see that. And you being, given this responsibility by your president, by your minister, to be an ambassador here in Kenya, the day you received that news, what was that feeling?
It was like, for 20 years I was working for the Ministry of Foreign Affairs.
Yeah.
I joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs after I finished my studies.
Yes.
My faculty of political sciences.
Yes.
And you work like in any other profession, hoping that one day you will be given an opportunity to represent your own country also as ambassador.
Right.
So you go step by step through your diplomatic structure in the ministry.
Yeah.
And it's a huge responsibility. At the same time, it's a huge honor. And like I learned this lesson when I was young diplomat. Like when I was child, I was never thinking that I will become a diplomat.
Yes.
I even didn't know that such a profession exists.
Yes.
Like every child, I was thinking about some other professions.
Doctor. And we'll come to that.
Yes,
we'll come there.
I was planning to become a doctor, but then the life brought me to something completely different. And my first post was in New York. And then that feeling when you sit behind the plate with the name of your country, that's the feeling that I cannot compare with anything.
No.
And I wouldn't change this profession for anything in the world.
Wow.
Honestly.
That's precious.
It's precious.
Yes.
And this feeling when you are sitting in front of this flag, it cannot be compared to anything.
No.
I think it's also like in sports when you're playing for your country.
Yeah.
I think Kenyans do understand that. You're very good in sports, like Serbs are.
Serbs are good in sports?
Oh, very good.
Which ones?
Well, both in collective and in individual. So at the moment we have the best tennis player in the world, Novak Djokovic, who is Serbian.
No.
Yes.
He's Serbian.
He's Serbian. Then the best basketball player also who plays in NBA, Nikola Jokic, he's as well Serbian. And we are world champions in many sports. Wow. So you can imagine, like for a small nation of a bit more than 7 million people, it's a huge achievement.
It's a big deal. It's a big deal.
Yeah. So I think that feeling that our sportsmen and sportswomen have when they are playing for their own countries, and that's the same feeling that I have when I'm playing in different kind of sports.
Yes, the diplomatic sport, if you could call it that.
Yeah.
Yes, but let's go to what you spoke about earlier, which is you wanted to be a doctor growing up. So straight A student you were. Everybody, including your lecturers, knew doctor in the making, your parents, everybody, everybody. Why, first of all, why did you want to become a doctor?
Why? I don't know, simply as I was like this, I would wear all the equipment that doctors wear. And that was, and I think also the fact that I was very young with my grandmother, she got cancer.
Oh.
So growing up as a small child with her, seeing her suffering, that was also some kind of incentive for me that I wanted to become a doctor and to help people like my grandmother is. And then like I was dreaming about that and preparing myself for that. And then at one moment I understood that maybe it's not the best profession for me, because sometimes I'm too much getting involved with people. I would not be in a position to make that wall, to know that when the work stops, you go home and you live normal life. I knew that I would wear that with me to my family.
Okay.
And then I was starting to think, and I said, okay, I'm not going to be a doctor. I need to find an alternative profession for me.
How old were you when you decided to shift?
I was just finishing my secondary school.
So
I already prepared for entering exams for medical faculty. I prepared everything. Everything was settled. So it was 2-3 months before I finished my secondary school that I just came to that conclusion. So I went to buy the book with other faculties because I didn't even know which faculties exist, because for me there was only one, medical.
Medical.
And that's it.
Yeah.
So I was looking, and I was very good when I was studying in mathematics, physics, chemistry. So my professors were okay, maybe, some IT faculty, or to be engineer or something like that. And then I was looking, I saw political sciences. It sounded very interesting for me.
Yeah.
So I came home and I said to my parents, I'm going to study political sciences. And they were very surprised, because, for them, political sciences is a being politician, and they couldn't imagine me as a politician. So in that sense, they were like trying to be supportive, but at the same time, to guide me in the right direction.
Yes.
And I said, no, I made my decision, so I will study international relations. Wow. And then when I started my studies, I immediately fall in love to learn about diplomatic history, which is a very important segment of history of humankind. So it was really, really something that I enjoyed. So I was not learning only to get good grades.
No.
I was learning because it was passion. I was reading, always trying to understand what is the logic, why certain events happened in the history, why we sometimes as a humankind, we didn't learn the lessons from the past. So then I really found myself there. Wow. And then after, when I graduated, I joined the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and that opened a new world. Right. For me.
Yeah. So it was passion and love, and you obviously then also became a straight A student learning political science.
Yes, I was. But as I said, it's not because of grades, it's because it was so interesting for me to understand, to learn, to share.
Yes.
And, especially also because I'm coming from a country with a not easy history. So in that sense also, trying to understand, you will see Serbs are very proud nation.
Okay.
So like Kenyans.
Okay, in what way?
For us, sometimes we are ready to pay high prices historically in order, to preserve what is the most important for us.
Wow. Okay.
So that's why I see that in my everyday contact with Kenyans.
Yes.
You're proud of your country. And I see, when the anthem of Kenya is playing, how people look like. And that's something that I found. You ask about similarities.
Yes.
So for us, I think we are both proud nations.
Yes. Wow, I love that. I would never have imagined describing Kenyans like that, but the way you've put it, I see it.
I also think that's my feeling of Kenyans.
Wow, awesome. So for you, what I'm hearing coming out from your story is you're naturally very curious and intrigued. You always want to know more, the why behind something. So you won't just accept something, yeah? You just, why this? Why not this? You want to explore.
But there is always explanation. I don't believe that there are things that are accidental.
Wow.
I think everything that is happening has its own explanation.
Yes.
That's why it's always important to understand the concept and the context of the things. Once, while I was studying at the Faculty of Political Sciences, one of my teachers told us, in order to be good in this profession, it's important that you understand to read what is written between the lines. Because everybody can read what is written, but only special ones can read what is written between the lines. What is the context? Why these things are happening? And then when you understand that, then you are able to envisage and to predict in which directions things will go.
I like that. But I also think it takes a higher form of intelligence to be able to read in between the lines. Like, what are they saying here that they're not
That's a bit of training as well.
Yeah?
They train us at the faculty for that.
Yeah?
Because you're always asked to analyze, okay, this happened, but let's see why. What brought us to this situation? What are possible ways out?
Yes.
So you need to analyze. And then, based on that, you make predictions. So I think that's the essence of the politics.
Yes.
You know, you have always to look into the future.
Right.
They say, you know, politicians, they are looking the things as they are. But people who are real statesmen, they look always into the future. What is coming
Yes.
after,
Yes.
what is coming next year, after 10 years, after 100 years, where this nation is going to be after
Yes.
certain period of time.
Yeah.
So you are always need to look in advance.
Yeah.
So that's why I honestly think that Africa is a continent of the future.
Oh, is that so?
Yes.
Oh, wow. You've introduced a new conversation point. Okay, tell us more. Why do you think Africa is the continent of the future?
There are some assets that Africa has that in other parts of the world are lacking. I'm not only speaking about natural resources that Africa is very rich.
Yes.
I'm also speaking about human capital, because I think human resources and young populations that Africa has, you know, Europe is getting old, some other parts of the world as well.
Yeah.
But here in Africa, you see so many young people, and they are the best potential that a country can have. So they are the ones, you know, who are leading us to the future. And I'm so happy to see, you know, like that even here in Kenya, like in Serbia, they are very open-minded. They're ready to work hard in order to achieve their goals.
Yes.
And I think like when our countries are investing in education, then that's the best investment that you can make, because you're truly investing in the future of your own country.
Wow.
And that's why we also, as a Serbia, we have a program of sponsorships for students from developing countries, including African countries, including Kenya, to go to study. Of course, the numbers of scholarships that we can offer are not so big, maybe, like some other countries can offer, but, you know, we offer what we can.
Yes.
So, and we think, honestly, that's the best way how you can, if you invest in one young person, to go to Serbia, to study there, to learn about Serbs, about Serbian culture, then it's, you know, the way how we can help, because that person will come back to its own country. It will be ambassador of friendship between two countries.
Oh, wow.
But at the same time, with knowledge that can be used for the advancement of your own country.
Yes.
So I think, you know, like for that, this potential of young population, energetic, ready to engage, to think, you know, how best to serve its own interests and interests of the country. I think that's amazing.
Wow.
And in Serbian young people are the same.
Yeah.
You know, like you asked me at the beginning similarities, like, well, now going a bit into politics, economics, you know, but very recently I attended the presentation of development plan by Kenyan government. And so I was listening, you know, what your president, your ministers were telling, you know, how they see further development of this country. And I have heard so many already things that I could hear in Serbia, you know, because we have something similar.
Okay.
It's the project called Leap into the Future.
Okay.
Serbia Expo 2027. Why it's called like that? Because Belgrade, the capital of Serbia, will be hosting in 2027 specialized exhibition expo with the theme Play for Humanity.
Okay.
So in 2027, Serbia is going to be the center of the world, and everybody is more than welcome. So it will be a huge event. We expect more than 2.6 million additional tourists to come to Serbia during those few months.
Wow.
So it will be a big event. So the whole country is going through preparations, a lot of infrastructure projects, a lot of projects in different other different areas.
Yes.
So we are all preparing for that, and we are looking forward to be good hosts for other countries, including African countries.
Yes.
We think Expo 2027 will be opportunity not only for Serbia to show itself as a good host, but also for African countries to come, to be present, to be seen, because we think Africa has a lot to show in these areas.
Okay.
Because the focus of the event itself will be on music, sports, innovations, creativity, new educational models.
Okay.
So these are areas where Africa can present themselves, I think, in a very good way.
Because you're also very strong in those areas you've talked about. So it's social, cultural, economic.
Yes.
So it's called Leap into the Future. Wow. And it's taking place for how many days?
It started
weeks?
now, and
Okay.
it's already ongoing. So it's basically the process leading us to the Expo 2027.
And then at the Expo in 2027, so what happens? Give us some ideas of. Is it like okay? This may be a bad example, but is it like the World Cup? You know, like where a whole country shuts down and there's a lot going on around the World Cup.
Well, you know, I think those few months it will begin in May, and it will last until August. So I think it will be period when everything in Serbia will be. It's all, you know, like in Olympics games.
Yes.
But this is not sports competitions.
No.
This is presentations, events.
Yes.
You know, like getting people together, because the very idea. Play for Humanity was a bit different when we wanted this competition.
I see.
To be host of this huge international event.
Yes.
So in the sense that the idea is to bring people coming from different cultures together, to exchange, to learn from each other. And then based on that, you know, to continue cooperating in the future.
Yes.
So that's basically the idea. So the whole concept, I think it was very interesting because it was different. And that also helped that we succeeded to get to be host of this event.
That's amazing. So for Kenyan watching that, before we go to break, for Kenyan watching and they seem intrigued and they want to know more about this expo in 2027, how can they get more information?
Well, like as the process continues,
Yes.
the preparation, for sure, I will be very active and to present to all interlocutors, both your government and everybody who would be interesting to be involved and participate.
Yes.
So we will sharing information with the Kenyan public.
Okay. Yeah, I want to be there at that expo.
Why not? You know, because it's also has this component
Yes.
that you're doing the.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So I want us to take a short commercial break. Then we'll come back and speak about your journey. So we stopped at you finished and you graduated with flying colors and you got into the ministry. And I just want to have a touch or an experience of the different places you've served your country and what that meant for you. And then hopefully later we'll also go and just see the cultural aspects. You'll teach us a bit about your culture, isn't it?
With great pleasure.
Awesome.
I'm very proud of Serbian culture.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, perfect. So we are taking a short commercial break here from the residence of Ambassador Extraordinaire and Plenipotentiary, Her Excellency Danijela Cubrilo Martic. We'll be back after this.
When you find yourself at the exact place where you should be, you will know it.
Love that.
And it's both in personal and professional life. I think you know it. The moment I met my husband, I knew.
Yeah?
The moment I came to Kenya, I knew. The moment I joined the ministry, I knew. That's it. So somehow I think people know when they are at the right place where they should be.
And with the right person.
Absolutely.
Welcome back to What's Your Story? I am Catherine Mwangi here at the residence of Her Excellency Danijela Cubrilo Martic. She, the Ambassador Extraordinaire and Plenipotentiary, I keep jumping on that word, Plenipotentiary of the Republic of Serbia here in Kenya. And she's also the permanent representative of to UNEP and UN Habitat. The embassy in Serbia also takes care of other countries in East Africa, isn't that correct?
Yes, you're basically in charge for the whole Eastern Africa.
Okay, wonderful, wonderful. So let's go back to, as a young girl, you have aced your political science degree, and now you are working in the Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And so I want us to just build a bit on that background and the places that you were privileged to serve Serbia over the years. Yeah.
My first very short post was Brussels.
Okay.
So then my second post for 4 years I spent in our mission to UN in New York. And that was for me really amazing experience that it's very difficult to compare with anything.
Oh.
In the sense that it's an amazing opportunity for a young diplomat to learn, to negotiate, to be part of the whole important processes tackling international community.
Yes.
So I was in charge for several issues in Security Council. I was dealing with the issues of international security and protection of peace. So even at that stage, although I said it's my first time being in Africa, but Africa as a continent is not new for me. So I was also following some issues in Security Council of concern and related to Africa. So, and then my next post was Paris UNESCO.
Okay.
So I spent 5 years in Paris and I worked for Serbian delegation. I was deputy of Serbian ambassador there. And again, I had an opportunity to deal a lot with Africa because my country was very active in the context of so-called Priority Africa, because UNESCO has 2 global priorities, gender equality and Priority Africa.
Okay.
And my country was very much involved in Priority Africa because we wanted to, as a good friend of Africa, as a country that has a very long tradition of relations with African countries, we thought that it will be useful for promotion of Priority Africa if one non-African country is very much involved.
Okay.
So our message was Priority Africa shouldn't be priority only for Africa, it should be priority for all of us. It doesn't matter if we are African countries or we are from anywhere else.
Yeah.
So we were very active. We were supporting celebration of African Week in Paris, UNESCO, which was a very unique experience because, you know, like we could, we would have performers for different African countries, exhibitions, opportunities to try African food. So it was really an amazing celebration of richness of African culture. And we were very glad to be part of it. Also once we used also the opportunity to promote, because we have a Museum of African Art in Belgrade. It's a very unique museum in this part of the world because usually you have African section in bigger museums, but this museum is dedicated solely to Africa and its art.
Why is that? In Belgrade?
In Belgrade.
Why just Africa alone?
Basically, the museum was established by a Yugoslavian diplomat who used to be ambassador in different African countries. So he fell in love in African culture. So, and this is a very specific museum also in the sense it's not colonial museum.
I see.
It's not, like that something was taken, it's the things that he would buy while he was serving here. And then when he came back, he established that, and after that gave it to the state, to operate it.
Yes.
So it's a very nice place, and they organized every year something called African Festival. And last year, Kenya was a special guest. So we had also high officials from Kenya and performers from different parts of Kenya. So they were playing in the streets. There was an event within the African Museum where people from Serbia could come and learn about Kenya. So we think this kind of exchanges. So I'm planning to organize something similar so that Kenya learns about Serbian culture. So it's always, you know, mutual exchange between us. And then rich in experience.
Yes. Do you feel that all of, you know, those experiences, you know, from when you changed your mind from becoming a doctor to pursuing political science, and you served in different capacities in those 3-4 nations in the world, do you feel like every step was orchestrated to lead you now to this high-ranking diplomat in Kenya, having touched Africa in different ways?
Yeah.
Do you feel like it was all orchestrated somehow, and you look back and you're like, wait a minute, no, everything is making sense?
Yeah, I think so. I'm a religious person, so I believe in that everything happens with the reason and that someone else knows better. Sometimes it looks to us, you know, that why this is happening now, but it's some experiences or some lesson that you need to learn in order to advance. So I think for me, this is the crown of my diplomatic career. And like that's why I'm very eager. I came here to work hard because I see so many opportunities for deepening relations between Serbia and Kenya.
Let's talk about that.
So like I think there is such a wide area where we can, then it's beneficial both for us and both for Kenya, from the political arena through the economics to the culture, education. There is so many opportunities. I'm just at the beginning of my road, and I'm really looking forward to work together with the Kenyan authorities to deepen our cooperation. Nowadays, you know, like when it comes to the economy, there is so many opportunities for cooperation in different areas. Serbia is an agriculture country as well, like Kenya is. But what also I see like a similarity between our two countries, it's we are all putting so much efforts in the context of modern ITs, in the context of digital economy. I see Kenya is doing a lot in this aspect. Creative industries, I'm also seeing that your government is making this one of its priorities. For my government as well. Digital economy, modern technologies, this is something that we are very much into it. So like there are some experiences maybe from Kenya that can be shared with Serbia, and some experiences of Serbia that can be beneficial to Kenya. Just to mention few, like we have our government is now creating science technology parks in different parts of the country, not only in capital but in other towns as well, with the idea, you know, to promote and to create the best possible conditions for scientists and researchers to do their job, and then to see how to implement the results of their work in everyday life, in our economy, in agriculture, in different areas of everyday living. So maybe, you know, these kind of experiences, I know that Kenya is also working a lot on that. Digital economy absolutely is also important, but there is also space for cooperation. We can work a lot, I think, on increasing the volume of trade exchange between two countries, because there are products that Kenya can offer to Serbian market, and there are a lot of things that Serbia can offer to Kenya. So later we will see some products. I'm very proud that some products from Serbia can be bought in supermarkets in Kenya. So in that sense, you know, there is so many things that we can achieve together.
I mean, I feel your spirit of determination and go-getter attitude, like we are gonna make this happen. But I love the sound of the ambassador of friendship. So you've come in to say we are equals and we're here to just deepen our connection as friends. I love that. So your personal life and your professional life, where do you find the balance? Is there a balance even? Maybe that should be the question.
I'm not very good about that. You can ask my husband what he thinks about that, because, you know, like I'm very much dedicated to my work, and I'm very happy to have a man besides me who understands that very well. He knows that sometimes I have to sacrifice some parts of my personal life in order to deliver how much I think it's necessary to deliver in my professional life.
Yeah.
And I think he's also a patriot, you know, he loves Serbia.
Yes.
And then when I say to him, listen, I cannot plan anything for this weekend because I need to work, because there is this and that happening and that's important for Serbia, he says, okay, I understand. So it's like that. So I'm not very good. I cannot be the best example of equilibrium between private and professional.
No.
I'm not, I admit that.
Yeah.
But it's also a matter of choice.
You have such a blessing then. That's a blessing. So you have peace in the home and peace at work. That's awesome. I think it's time now for us to go look at, what are you calling it?
Serbian ethno corner.
Okay, but before we go there, I want you to look into this camera. You can, right?
Yes.
And I want you to give advice to especially young women. It doesn't matter the path, the career path, but women who look at you and they admire how you've grown, your patience, your dedication, your heart and spirit for what you do, and they aspire to get there. What can they put in place? Who do they need to become? I need you to speak to them.
It's not easy, your question.
Yeah, I know, right?
It's not easy at all.
Yeah.
But I think the most important thing is first to believe in yourself, then to have a clear goal, what you want to achieve, where you want to be. And then you need to be persistent, you need to be brave, and you need to make even sacrifices if it's necessary. But you need to do everything in order to follow your dream.
Yes.
And then when you find yourself at the exact place where you should be, you will know it. I think you will know it. Yeah. Somehow, you know, people ask me now how you accommodate to Kenya, how it looks like it's completely new, different surrounding, different people, different. And I say, honestly, I had more accommodation when I moved to US or to some other part. Here, I just came and I feel like I belong here. It's very unusual because I expected it will take me time to understand, to, you know, to adjust, to accept some things.
Yes.
But no, it came just natural. So I think someone is looking and there is a reason why I'm here.
Yeah.
And I'm really happy that it's Kenya. I'm really happy that it's Africa. So girls, be persistent and fight for your dreams. And everything can be achieved. I'm coming from a very normal standard background. Okay. You know, I'm the first in my family that graduated at the faculty. My parents didn't have possibility for that. So I had to fight. I had to work a lot on me, myself. I had to, it wasn't always easy. I always had to work very hard because the only thing that could help me, I understood along the way, is the knowledge and experiences that I gained. So I had to fight along the way. Yeah. But in the end, you know, I think it's worth.
Yeah, I like what you said. When you get there, you will know it.
I think it's always like that.
I love that.
And it's about in personal and professional life. I think you know it. The moment I met my husband, I knew.
Yeah?
The moment I came to Kenya, I knew. The moment I joined the ministry, I knew. That's it. So somehow I think people know when they are at the right place where they should be.
And with the right person.
Absolutely.
Okay, Your Excellency, I think it's time for us to go to, what did you call it again?
Serbian ethno corner.
Yes, so we are going there. So the show is still on. So we are back. We are just going to Serbia.
Ethno corner.
That one. Okay, so we go?
Okay.
Perfect. Okay, so Your Excellency, here we are at the Serbia Ethno Corner. It's very beautiful. I see quite a number of things. So what do you want to show us? We had talked earlier about the cultural exchanges, some products that are already here in the Kenyan market. And obviously I'm seeing beautiful women, beautiful clothes.
Thank you.
So where do we start?
It's very difficult where to start.
Right?
But the idea, these are things that I brought with me when I came from Serbia.
Okay.
So there was double purpose. One from one side, it was to create a space that will remind me about home.
Oh.
And then the second, more important one,
Yeah.
is to have a space where people who are coming to the embassy in one small area
Yes.
can see what Serbian culture is.
Oh.
So I'm using opportunity whenever I have guests, ambassadors,
Yes.
officials, people from Kenya, from other countries that this embassy is following, to show them, because as I told you, I'm very proud of Serbian culture.
Yes.
So, and also I used a bit of my experience from Paris UNESCO time. And some of the things that you can see are also inscribed to UNESCO's lists.
Oh, like which one?
Yes. For example,
Yeah.
here you can see traditional dance in the
Yeah.
form of circle.
Yeah.
It's called kolo.
Okay.
Kolo is inscribed to a UNESCO representative list of intangible cultural heritage of humanity. So this type of dance.
It's a dance?
It's a dance.
Is Serbia known for like dance?
It's very specific, like they create a circle,
Right.
dancing different kinds. I'm not very good in that, I have
You
to
must
admit. But it's a very long tradition.
Okay.
So this is inscribed to UNESCO list.
Yes.
Then singing using this instrument called gusle is also inscribed to the same UNESCO list. And this one is in fact a gift that my husband got from the most famous player of this kind of instrument.
Wow.
So it's also has a personal
Very
moment.
special.
Yes.
Okay.
Like products as well. This is sweet. It's types of jams.
For
that
the
are
breads.
Yes, for
Okay.
breads. And this is what I really like.
What's that?
That's honey with the nuts and with dried fruits. It's also Serbian product.
Just for eating?
Yeah, just for eating.
Wow.
And it's also, I think it looks nice as well.
Yeah. So this little corner makes you feel like you're at home.
Yes.
This is home
That's
for you.
the feeling when I, come down from the stairs, I always see this.
Yeah.
And then it brings me back to Serbia, and that's that feeling that I like to have it in the embassy.
That's awesome.
Because this is also the house of Serbia. We are representing Serbia in this
so you have to have a touch of Serbia.
You have to have the touch
and this
of
beautiful
Serbia.
dress.
This is Serbian national attire, female version, and here you have male version.
Yeah.
And it's from Šumadija, central part of Serbia. And I'm very happy. I was wearing this one when I was submitting my accreditation letter to His Excellency President Ruto.
This is what you wore?
I was wearing this.
Including the shoes?
Including the shoes.
Girl.
All together, because I really wanted, to present Serbia the way as it is.
Yeah.
Our tradition,
Yes.
our heritage.
Yes.
And I had only one small addition.
Which is?
That was not Serbian. My earrings in the shape of Africa.
Oh.
That was to pay, to show respect to the continent where I am.
That's amazing.
So that was the only thing not Serbian. Everything else, including the shoes, was Serbian.
You're very thoughtful.
But before going to male version, just to tell you something.
Okay.
Because I brought this also from Serbia with me when I arrived.
Yeah.
So the girls from the embassy, Kenyans, they were helping me to put it on the doll.
Yeah.
So when they were putting this, they told me, but ambassador, this is Masai.
Yeah.
And I said, like what? They explained me, but this material and this combination of colors, it looks like Masai.
Are you sure this is not Masai?
No, it's a Serbian. It's a Serbian. And then we were, and then they were laughing because I told them, but girls, I told you that Serbs and Kenyans are brothers and sisters. Now you have a concrete example.
This actually is that.
You see?
Yeah.
This is how culture doesn't know about borders, so far geographically, but then you can find words that sounds the same, or you find the type of materials.
And I love the material.
Yeah,
I
I go very often to Masai market.
Oh,
And I can see very
You
similar
can.
things. Yeah, so
that's
it's
quite
very
something.
unusual, but
totally.
that's reality.
It is what it is.
And then this is our
The
guy,
man.
the man of the house. He is here,
Yeah.
also wearing the traditional attire.
I love it. I love it. This has been quite something, Your Excellency.
And these shoes, they are the most comfortable shoes that I have wear in my life. You cannot imagine. They're made of leather, and they're so comfortable. Nowadays, people in Serbia, of course, do not wear this in the streets.
I would wear that on the street.
Honestly,
Yeah.
I would.
Yeah. Are they selling them here in Kenya?
No,
You need to.
But they're now part of the tradition.
Yes.
Especially, usually they are worn by people who are dancing this type of dances kolo, like promoting tradition.
Your Excellency, I'm just very inspired by what you've done in your home at the embassy, and just how you've brought a little piece of Serbia to just, be here. It's sentimental, and I think it warms your heart. Like you said, every morning you walk down and you're like, oh, this is the mission. I think it's beautiful. I think what you've done here is beautiful. Well done.
Thank you so much.
Yeah.
That means me a lot,
Yeah?
honestly, because I have put some efforts to find all these things and
Yes.
to arrange them.
Yeah.
And I'm very proud of the fact that embassy can offer some bits of Serbian culture to the Kenyans, and also this feeling, that it's part of home. So, and it always reminds me, when I see this,
Yeah.
it reminds me where I'm coming from.
Yes.
Whose interests I'm protecting by being here and promoting
Yes.
cooperation with
Yes.
Kenya, and how happy I should be that my government, among 7.5 million Serbs, has chosen me to be the one representing my country here.
In this beautiful country.
In this magical Kenya.
Wow.
Now I understand why you call it magical.
Yeah, in this magical Kenya. Wow, I love that. So we are saying goodbye. So how do you say goodbye in Serbian? Is that what do you say?
The most proper word would be doviđenja. I think, but we have depending on what comes next.
Okay.
If we are going to see each other very soon, or
Which we will. Which we will.
So that it depends, but it can be doviđenja.
Doviđenja. Okay, I'm so honored that you opened the doors of your home to us today, to just come and hear your beautiful story. I admire just the strides you have made, and just how you have had grit, determination, and resilience to just, that you're always at the right place, and it's step by step by step. And now here you are as an ambassador representing your country, and how you just value that as a high calling. I admire that a lot about you, and I'm so glad you gave us the time today. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's a pleasure.
Yeah. And to you watching, I am so gratified that you made the time tonight to tune in to this incredible story. You have heard how this lady just rose up just from a graduate who succeeded with flying colors, working her way in the foreign ministry, being trusted by her leadership to just serve Serbia in different postings around the world, and now here in magical Kenya, like she called it. I'm glad you tuned in. So we say goodbye. The show goes up on YouTube right after this, and I repeat this coming Sunday at 2 p.m. For now, we stay inspired, we stay empowered, and we stay elevated. I'm Catherine Mwangi. Ciao.